Okay. Check, check. Audio check. Audio checking. Where's my audio? There's my audio. Cool. Alright. I think we are good. Yes, we are good to go. Alright. Hello, everybody. And welcome. This is another chill stream here. After event chill stream, I guess. Because yesterday I went to the Motor City Furry Con. And so I'm going to talk about it. And then I'm going to show the shit that I bought. Yeah! But yes, we were here at Motor City Furry Con. This was, of course, the little flyer thing with all the events and stuff that was happening in it, you know, schedules, all that, where everything is, what everything is, so on and so forth. But yeah, so I guess I will first talk about my time there. This was me, of course. I did a video on my custom badge, of course. That was me. If anyone watching sees this stream, that was me. But yeah, this was the main attendee badge here, of course. I have one behind it, which I will get into that later. But yeah, I'm wearing my pin that I wore the other day, which again, I did a video on my pin as well. But yeah, so, what even was it? So, obviously it's a furry con. And, you know, a lot of fursuit people, a lot of non-fursuit people as well. But yeah. And I wanted to go because I had seen in a Facebook group that I'm in, people talking it up for several years, honestly. And so I thought, hey, why not bite the bullet and go and see what this is all about. And I did. The entry price, at least for me, was like $70, which kinda steep. Not gonna lie, but you know, compared to Comic-Con, which is like $35 to $40, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I went with a friend. We got there at about noon. We went on Saturday, the single Saturday. Well, it was a whole 3-day thing, but we just went the one day. And, yeah, so well, first we registered. It took a bit to find registration. So this was at like a hotel. It was my first time being at a con at a hotel. Very strange. But yeah, registration was on the second level, which took a little bit to find. But we got registered, got our
badges. And yeah, of course, while we were on the second level, we started with the Safe for Work Artist Alley. Got a few things in there, which again I'll show. I got everything I bought over here, which I will show most of it. I cannot show all of it though. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. And so we hit that, got a few things there. Of course, right next door was the MCFC Artist Alley. We went in there, found a few things, so on and so forth. We hit the gaming room on the second level.
My friend did some stuff in there. They had like these machines where if you put in like dollars, it would turn it into tokens, and you could play the machines with tokens. I just kind of watched. They didn't have video games. All the video games I saw were full by the time we got in there. There were people I saw playing like Smash Bros. There was like a racing sim set up, you know, like a full wheel and everything. Someone playing, I think they were playing Dirt Rally 2.0. At first I thought it was like WRC, but it was apparently Dirt Rally 2.0. But yeah, there were some other classic games going on in there, and so on and so forth. Again, it was all kind of filled up by the time we got there, so you know there wasn't any room to sit and play at all. It is what it is, though. There was a booth in there too selling video games. Not many. Like I saw a lot of like Xbox 360 games. Like they had a bunch of the Halo games, Reach, 3 ODST, Combat Evolved Anniversary, couple of Wii games, but yeah, not a whole lot going on really for selling video games there. But yeah, that was what we did up on the second level. At that point, I was like, let's find the dealer den, because I wanted to see the dealer den. That was a bit of a trek. That took some finding. We had to like go from the second level of the hotel down to the first, like weave down a hallway, go down another level, which took us through like this restaurant area that also was having like a lunch thing. There was like a buffet lunch you could get. It was a $27 buffet lunch, which seems kind of expensive to me, but whatever. It's a convention. Everything's gonna be overpriced. But anyway, you go through the restaurant out to this outdoor patio area, and that's where the dealer den was. Kind of disconnected from everything, but it's where it was, you know. So yeah, you go in there. Pretty small dealer den, you know. There was like dealers on like the outside of it, and then like I think 2 rows going across, with, you know, booths of people selling things. You know, there was a lot more art, a lot of people selling like badges, like custom badge stuff like mine here. And yeah, just general things like that. There was a person selling soap, which I thought was kind of interesting. Of course, a lot of fursuit, you know, stuff there. There was a person that was selling, like, smut books, let's just call it, for the sake of being safe. And I mean, like, books, like, words books, like, short ones, like 50 to 100 pages. I did peruse a little bit of that. There was another booth that had graphic novels, adult graphic novels, let's just say that. You know, not anything that made me uncomfortable, of course, but yeah. Again, there was one I wanted, but I didn't end up getting it because I was like, oh, at that point I'd already grabbed 2 NSFW things. So I'm like, I think I don't need any more. But yeah. So we wandered around that. The dealer den did also have a specifically 18 plus dealer den that was a lot smaller. Which had things that I don't think I need to describe, you know, certain kinds of pillow covers, stuff like that, full-blown you know, sex toys were back there, stuff like that. So, you know, I was gonna say this: if you're watching this and you're not a furry with no understanding of what it is, and you're just like, oh, it's just a bunch of, you know, horny stuff. It's not. Trust me, it's not. It's part of it, but it's not the whole thing. So, just saying. But anyway, but yeah, at that point, me and my friend didn't really know what else to do, and we only been there for 3 hours. I mean, we looked over the panels, like, there was no panels that were of interest to me or him. And, you know, the only other thing that, like, late at night would have been a rave, but neither of us are rave people. Nothing against people that like it. I just am not a rave person. But yeah. Sorry. But yeah, so there was that. I went with $100 and I only did not spend 10. So, you know, by the point of leaving, I was just like, I got $10 left. There is nothing left for me to get. But yeah. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, here's the thing. And I saw this post, this was after I had already gotten home myself, from somebody in a group I'm in on Facebook, that a bunch of people went to this, where there was apparently a panel about, you know, if this was your first furry, or this being your first furry con, you know, that one of the pieces of advice this person got from that panel was you get out of the con what you put into it. Now, they talked about stuff that they did that I'm just like, okay, whatever, man. And maybe that's part of it, because I'm gonna say I was mildly disappointed. Now, keep in mind, that does not mean that it was a bad furry con, or that I didn't have fun. You know, it was nice getting to the friend that I went with. I haven't seen in 3 years, so it was good to get to spend time with him. And that was the main part of it. I still had fun, you know. But for me, I would say the con is a good one-time experience. Not something that I plan on going to, like, regularly, like a yearly basis, like I do with Comic-Con. I got some cool stuff. Again, I can't show you all of it, because NSFW, one in particular. But, you know, it's just, it was a 3-hour round trip for me, and it just doesn't make it worth it to go, because, like, there's just not enough for me personally to warrant going several times. Well, not several times, but several years in a row or something. Other people, I could totally understand it, and, you know, maybe if I had a larger group of friends to go with, it would make it worthwhile, you know. I don't really interact with a lot of people in the Facebook group that I keep mentioning, but, you know, maybe if I made friends at, like, group meetups and stuff in that group on Facebook, that maybe I could see going again if I had a larger friend group to go with. But, like, at this juncture, I just don't see it being worth my time to go on a yearly basis, especially with that entry price of $70, the drive time, the gas, everything else. It just me. Again, not a bad con. It was a good time. It was a good one-time experience, but I don't think I plan on going probably again in like, I'm not gonna go next year. I'm probably not gonna go till, I don't know, it'd probably be like 3 or 4 years before I'm just like, yeah, maybe I might go to that again. Like, probably not. But yeah. I didn't take any pictures or videos. My camera's kind of borked right now on my phone for no reason. But yeah. That was my experience anyway at Motor City Furry Con 2025. So yeah. What did I buy? Well, you've already seen one of them, kind of. That was the first one here, the Goth Furry badge. It is double-sided. But yeah, I like this a lot. I actually did get 2 of them. I have 2 of them. Just so you see. This one was thrown in for free because it was a mistake according to the artist, because the text was too high up on this one for them to put the hole punch in without going through the words, so they kind of threw that one in for free, which I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with 2 of them, because this is going to stay on my attendance badge, but, you know, whatever. I will gladly take a free one, you know. There we go. But yeah, so yeah. Like it though, Goth Furry, perfect fit, so. Of course, I'll do the small stuff here. We've got a couple stickers. Got this by Furry Paw here sticker. These will probably wind up on my PC case, because that's where I like to put a lot of stickers, is on my PC case. But yeah, like that. And then I got this one here with Luxray and Shanks. That's the small one. My brain is like Pokemon. Anyway. But yeah, Shanks and Luxray on there. Like that. I also have the shirt, which I haven't pulled out of the bag here, but it says Yap Life with the wolf just going ah. I love it. I fucking love this shirt. It's so funny. But yeah. One that I'm gonna do my best here to cover is that this is as good as it's gonna get for showing it, because this is MCFW and I'm not getting this stream canceled, so but yeah, it is a very nice piece of artwork that will probably find its way to where my current NSFW art is from Comic-Con last year. But yeah. And again, I absolutely cannot show this one, but this white envelope has the other piece of NSFW art that I bought. I will say, on the note of the one that I did somewhat show in a censored manner, I was a little disappointed that I had to kind of unbend that when I got home, because they just kind of threw it in a black bag where, you know, it was a $20 piece of art, and it's like, why didn't you put it in like a clear sleeve with like a card backing behind it? so that the artwork wouldn't get bent while I'm walking around the rest of the con. Like the people when I was at Comic-Con last year and bought some furry art, both safe and not safe for work art, like they put them in between like a card backing in like a clear sleeve so that neither of the artwork would get bent, and so that the not safe for work one wasn't showing while I'm walking around the rest of the con last year. Just a minor nitpick, of course, but yeah. Also, hello to anyone watching. I know it's just, they're kind of rambling, but that's just kind of how this goes. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I bought. Not much, but like I said, I spent all but $10 of the money that I took with me. So, but yeah, that was my experience with Motor City Furry Con 2025 and my haul from it. I suppose I can open the floor to questions for, say 7 or 8 minutes. I don't want this to go too long, but anyone wants to ask any questions in the chat, feel free to do so. If not, then I'll probably just wrap up soon because I'm hungry and I haven't eaten yet. But yes, so feel free, questions, chat, comments, whatever, talk to me if you want to. I will try my best. Doesn't even have to be about the con, just, if you want to just say, ask anything, whatever, go ahead. Yeah. I'm surprised I haven't gotten, a lot of people when they go to cons, they get the con crud and get sick. Like, I've had friends get that, and I'm just like, I've never gotten sick going to one. I don't know why, but I am sore. My body is sore, and I'm very tired, but I have not gotten the sick. I have not gotten the con crud, but let's see, if I could change anything about the day, what would it be? Ooh. Well, we all know hindsight's kind of a bitch, but I think with the hindsight of it, I wouldn't have gotten there as soon as I did. I mean, granted, getting there at noon isn't really soon, but, had I known, I'm only going to be there for X amount of hours, like, I would have went a little later in the day, maybe. But, yeah, that or maybe just taken more time, I guess. Because I feel like my friend and I were probably too efficient in the shopping part, just being like, that, buy it. Not like we didn't take time to look at stuff, but I mean, it's kind of hard when, there's so many people. Also, maybe take more time to talk to, like, the booth with the guy that had, like, the smut novels. Like, I talked to briefly, but it's like, the room is so loud, you can't really hear them. I mean, they're, like, right in front of your face, and you just can't hear them, like, if I spent maybe 2-3 more minutes talking to him, that would have been fun, I think, talk to him about writing and stuff, but, like, you just can't hear, you know. Same way if there was a person in, I think it was in the not safe for work artist area, that was talking to me about how, like, they don't like selling their stuff on, like, Etsy and whatnot because of certain fees and taxes. And it was actually kind of an interesting discussion, but it's like, I can't hear you because the room is so loud because there's 50 people trying to talk, you know? But I don't know. I think that's a few things that I would have changed. But yeah. Silence. I mean, I guess in an unrealistic way, put it in an actual convention center so you can have more room instead of being in a hotel. But perhaps have panels that are less about fursuits and art and more general panels. I don't know. Best purchase of the different items. What did I like the best out of what I bought? That's a good question, actually. Honestly, probably the shirt. The shirt was just too funny to not get. But yeah. Because it's like, I didn't need more NSFW art, but I did anyway. But yeah, probably the shirt. Definitely worth the $35. I think it'll get some humor wearing it around. Sorry. Phone's getting hot. You know, going back to that first question, actually, I wish there was more plush at booths. I was kind of, like, I'm a plush collector, and yeah, there wasn't a lot. There was some small, like, Pokemon stuff that was, like, insanely expensive. Like, I'm talking, like, small little plushes, probably, like, that big, that were, like, $30 or something, because they're handmade. But it's, like, what about regular plushes, you know? Would have liked to see more of that. I don't know if that's a thing to change, but it's just something I would have liked to see more of, was plush of different kinds. Maybe less of, you know, certain kinds of toys. But it is what it is on that front. I'll take a few more questions before we wrap up here. Which, you know, make your question really worth it, because it might be the last one. Alright, well, I think if there's no more questions, then I'm going to end it here. Of course, thank you. Whoop, hold on. One more question. What would you buy if you didn't have a limit on what you could buy? Well, let me see. The Crystal Creations booth, I did not mention this earlier. Crystal Creations booth, which was really cool, had all these, like, you know, different animal looking things made out of different kinds of, like, rocks and minerals, and they had one that was like the head of a dragon from like the neck up. It wasn't big, it was probably like that, maybe that big. Not like, maybe a little bit more than half the size of like a soda can. And that was like $187. I would have bought that if I could. The thing apparently lights up too, like it had like a base that connects to USB. I'd have bought that for, like, I didn't care. I wouldn't have cared if it was $187. If I had no limit, that would have been mine. I don't know where I would have put it, you know, but it's like the fact that I have like a salt lamp I own that lights up. No, I don't have it out anywhere because I don't have room to put it out. Yeah, and the other one, the bigger one, was an art booth that had, I don't know the size, it was like probably this big-ish, by like that tall. I know my hands are kind of on a frame here. It was like an art piece. I forget the exact name, but it was named something like the Cinder Dragon or something like that. And it was $500. But holy shit, it was like the coolest thing I had seen the entire time I was there. Like, man, if I could drop that kind of cash, I would have done it in an instant. I would have cleared any amount of space on my walls for that photo. I would have hoped too for $500 they would package that up to not get bent. Or I would have waited to make sure that was the absolute last thing that I buy so that it wouldn't get bent. Unlike certain pictures that I bought. But yeah. Definitely those two. Not gonna lie, this doesn't really have to do with the spending limit, but if I could, I would have bought certain kinds of toys that they had there. But that's besides the point. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. If that be the last question, then I think I'm going to end things here. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for the questions, Shy Core. But yeah. That is going to do it. So if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.